All right, so I'm going to walk through fairly quickly what I've done to mount my new System 3 XTR 35s to my stock KRX rims, wheels. As you can see, these are 35 by 10 by 15 System 3 XTR 370s. For me, I've already done 3 of these. For me, the biggest issue I have had is unseating the original tires, breaking that bead originally. I had never done anything like this before, relied on YouTube and forums, and some helped, some didn't, and I'm going to kind of give some of the things that helped me. All right, first off, to remove the tire, went to Harbor Freight, spent $47 and some odd change to buy the Pittsburgh Bead breaker. Myself, along with 4 other people, could not get this to break the bead off of the original wheel. Tried. That back bead was just on there so tight. I started to scratch the rim a little bit and called in some other people to come help that had done it before, and they were just at a loss. It worked with a car type tire, a tractor type tire, and a tire for a utility trailer. Would not break this. Maybe it was just my luck. Might work better for you guys, but this $47 boat anchor I'm gonna try to take back. I ended up taking the wheels to little mom and pop tire shop. 10 minutes later, they're off. So the 2.5 days I spent trying to use this stupid thing, and they charged me $44 to take them off. So it was even cheaper than what it would have cost to do that anyway. And a little bit backstory. The reason why I'm attempting to do this, or doing this, I'm attempting, is because I called around all over in town, and was either told could not get to it for the next 3 weeks. It would cost $250 or $300 or $100 a tire to do. I was like, that's ridiculous. I can figure this out on my own. So, and this is where we are. Tools you need: torque wrench, 14 millimeter. I'm using a little extension. A little bit of WD-40. Obviously your tires. A little bitty. I'm using a little Ryobi air compressor, and a ratchet strap. It's really all. Oh, and also I'm using this uber cheap stuff here as something that's slick that will let the tire slide on. So I'm doing this one-handed, so let's start the process here. So just going to spray that inner side. It's going to slide down over the wheel. Going to spray it down with our handy dandy tire slick stuff. This has worked really well for me. I also tried using soapy water and a something you can get at AutoZone that's specifically for this, and didn't really help. Just kind of made a huge mess. I saw some people online using this, so that's what I'm doing. Again, doing this one-handed, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to knock it out. Saw people online even just throwing their tires on there, and they magically just pop on there. Mine definitely did not do that. I don't know if these have, they're a little tighter or something, but either way, it's fairly easy to do. I put the tire on the wheel, and I'm going to rotate it, kind of pushing as I do, and it pops that bottom bead on. All right, not too difficult. Of course, this one was the biggest pain in the ass out of all of them, but this one is on, and you can kind of see, you can kind of rotate it and see how the bead of this just fits to the inside of all of these guys. Makes it nice and easy. One other thing I didn't mention is when I pulled the wheels, when I had the tires put off the wheels, I took that time to clean the wheel really well. I cleaned the portion where the beadlock attaches to the wheel. and also just took time to clean it. On the actual beadlock itself, spent some time cleaning. That's good, bolt just fell. Spent some time cleaning this edge on all of them, making sure that was really good, good and clean, so there wouldn't be an issue with contact, you know, for that guy contacting it. All right, let me fish that bolt out and we'll put that on. All right, so two things to note here real quick. Normally on your tire, there's a little either yellow or red circle to let you know where the tire would line up to your valve stem. This tire, 35-inch XTR 370, I have looked all over it multiple times. I've done some research online. Can't find anything like that. So I did find one post saying that they did not do this for the 35s. Have an email into those guys, and hopefully that is the case. If I have to do this all again, well, I'll do it, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Also, on your bead lock, you have this one little section right here with this little knot. If you notice, it's a little bit recessed. That's where your valve stem is going to go. But before I do that, I'm going to go on each of these little guys and just give a little bitty spritz in all these little threads, just to lube that up just a hair. Some of them did have a little bit of gunk and grime in it. All right, so what I'm going to do from here is torque each of these down with my torque wrench to 15 pounds in a star pattern. So I'll go from, zoom out a little bit, from here to there, there to there, there to there, there to there. You get the idea, and just keep repeating that. I'm going to torque them down initially to 15 pounds. After that's done, then do the same pattern and torque them down to their final spec of 41. My wrench, it'll be probably close to 42, but I think that's going to be acceptable. One-handed, so I can't show you that, but you know how that works. All right, all those are now torqued down to 15, nice and snug. So now I'm going to adjust my torque wrench and go to 42, which is the final tightening that will be needed. All right, so that's done. And honestly, to me, that's probably kind of the biggest pain in the ass, because it just takes the most time and most oomph besides that piece of crap. But, you know, I've read a lot that says not to use your impact. Don't trust your uggers, use your torque wrench. So taking the advice of people that have done this before and know more about it than I do. Again, first time to do it, and this seems to be working pretty good. So now let me get it up, and we'll I'll show you how I use the strap. There may be other ways to do it. I just kind of invented this method because this tower's too damn big for me to do much else. So let me get that set up and I'll show you. Let me show you this real quick. This is the other side of the tire. Now you can lay it down and step on it, and it comes up not much, maybe half an inch or so. And I tried doing all kind of stuff. Laying it down, standing in the middle piece, using an air compressor to try to get it to work, and just wasn't working for me or for this tire. So I'll set up a strap real quick. So what I do, this is one thing I do like from Harbor Freight, are inexpensive, fairly decent working straps. So have the strap set up going down the middle of the tire. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you kind of in video what I did. So I'm going to tighten this strap down, but it will not pull the entire tire. I have to show you. It's kind of hard to describe, but it will not pull that entire bead all the way up. So I'll do a couple other things to help that out real quick. So you can see strapping it, tightening it down a bit, does pull that bead in to where it's pretty much usable on this side, where I could start putting air in it. But say on this side it does not. So this is where you kind of need to either be the big dude or call one of your fat friends. If you don't have one, just give me a holler. But basically I will put my weight on this thing and rotate it. All right, you get the idea. I'm going to keep rotating it until that bead seats all the way, or not all the way, but at least where I can start putting air in it. All right, so now that that is done, you see it's gone up pretty good. Now you or your fat friend now is pretty winded. So attach your air compressor. I'll put him to 18. 18. Now what I like, what's worked for me is to let this get to about 5.5 pounds, and then I'll pop that strap off. So we'll wait a bit. All right, so we're at 5.5, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this. Now lean him up against the pole right here, and you'll hear the bead seat. It's gonna be a little bit. Bead actually just set, wasn't recording. This one was pretty quiet. The others made a pretty substantial little pop. This one did not. So it'll continue up to 18, and I'll let it sit with these other guys. I want to let it sit for a day or two. Just to have the bead fully seated. All right, so all four are done. I'm going to let them sit for a day or so to make sure they don't lose air, bead seats correctly and whatnot. And I'll end the video with a picture of the side-by-side with the new tires on, just to kind of give you a little side-by-side. Of course, they are aired up to 18 pounds, and the ones on there definitely are not, but you can see they're a noticeably bigger tire. I have springs, tender springs on the way as well to lift this back up to factory spec, and then with this it'll be a little bit higher. I've been asked the reason why I went with these tires instead of the XTR 350s or the Rockzillas is because where I live down in South Louisiana, having a rock climbing soft tread tire just isn't very conducive to most of the riding I do. We travel, go to Colorado, West Virginia, Tennessee, and whatnot, but the majority of our riding is obviously around this area, so I needed something with a little better grip, mud grip type of application. So that's what I went with. We'll see how that works. If it works, good, great. If it doesn't, then next time we'll try something different. On my T4, I've gone through a number of different tires, and I really liked most of them I've put on there. So I've had a good time with that bike, and very, very eager to do the same with this one. If you have any questions, comments, what I did right, what I did wrong, just let me know. Thanks. All right, I said I'd do a picture, but here's a little video. That is original 31s. These are some takeoffs I bought. As backup tires, brand spanking new. See the rear sags a little bit. I have the helper springs coming to help that out a little bit because I have spare tire rack and SATV box on there for now. That adds a little more weight, so has a little more sag. And it's been ridden, so it just happens. All right, next little clip will be with the big old tires on there. And this is after they are installed. Much bigger stance. Walk around. I like it. Again, let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, anything I can do better or didn't do good enough.